And wait a minute. Oh, and inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Gurudev Namo. Namo Gurudev Namo. Adkare name, Jugakare name, Sakare name, Sirikare name, Adkare name, Jugakare name, Sakare name, Sirigurudev Jugakare name, Sakare name. Breathe. And first of all, Japa Saraswati will see the, what do you call that?
In the chat?
That
in the
message?
chat? Yeah.
Okay. And then
let's talk about it.
Yes, to talk about that. And then after that, we will have the, what do you call it? Jumping breath.
Heart pumping and
Pumping,
3 minutes.
right? Pumping, yes, that's good for 1 minute. And then after that, we will have 3 minutes of meditation, and then we will continue. Okay, so let's see, how do we get to the Japa Saraswati?
In the bottom of the screen, you click on the little icon that says chat, and I'll read it. This is the email that I got from you. This is what it says. When the future predictions were for many people who will find that unprovoked severe anger, mental problems, difficult fights, terrible depression, etc. How would you deal with them from Baba Siri Chand or Soul? So what future predictions? What are the you mean in the times that the predictions are going to cause in the society?
Yes.
These problems like unprovoked severe anger, mental problems, difficult fights, and terrible depression. How would you deal with these problems from Baba Siri Chand and Soul? Okay.
Do you all understand that?
Yes. Yes. Pretty interesting. Is it written there?
Yeah, can you read it one more time?
Yes, it's in the chat.
And wait a minute, find out, do you see the word chat? C-H-A-T?
Yeah, I'm on chat, but it only gives me where to talk to me about it.
You might scroll up a little bit, Harimandir, because on my screen, I posted it right at the beginning of the meeting, but then it says, Sat City joined, et cetera, et cetera. So I scroll up about an inch. Do you see it now? I'll read it. I'll read it for us again. So when in the future predictions, which means like the times, were for many people to find unprovoked severe anger, mental problems, difficult fights, terrible depression, etc. How will you deal with them from Baba Siri Chand or Soul?
Got it? Did you get that?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank
Go-
you.
And you found the chat?
I found the chat. I didn't find any of this, but
Yep.
Sahej sent me a photo of it.
I love how creative we are.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I was going to do, is take a picture, but
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Okay. So now here we go for 1 minute for I can't even think about it.
Pumping heart breath.
Pumping, yes, pumping heart. Okay, 1 minute and begin. Please continue for 3 minutes for meditation. Inhale. Exhale. Aagia Pal.
Yes. Well, I heard from Soul that in these post-apocalyptic times that the people that they're reacting, these are reactions because change is really difficult, and also seeing the truth unveiled is also potentially shocking and difficult to absorb. And so Soul wanted me to understand that without judgment, these are the times, this is the situation, and these are the reactions of people who, for a long time, probably, lived under, they're just awakening, and they've lived under different worldview, cosmology, everything is changing. So this is very, very difficult for them. So there's a Soul is saying, Soul and I are one. In other words, the compassion that Soul has, for me, let that radiate out, and remove the barriers of fear from my soul consciousness, and allow this compassion. Open my mind, Soul, and allow this compassion to breathe out into the world, heart breath into the world. And yeah, basically this is what Soul said to expect. And it was interesting because Soul was not, I did not get from Soul like that this was horrific thing or something terrible, that it was more normalized by Soul. Okay, post-apocalyptic times, change is difficult, and radiate compassion. What Soul did show me, though, was that the leaders of our government are also reacting in extremely violent ways, and especially Elon Musk, I'll call him out on that, and which is a very brings up a lot of fear, probably for everyone. And Soul kind of stopped there with me, in the sense of working together, Soul says you're not alone. You need, Soul says, your comrades, you need your tribe, you need to bond and bind together, because it seems that the tentacles of evil have made it to, shall I say, the quote unquote top, have made it to the 3 branches. So
what are the 3 branches?
executive, legislative, and judiciary. And nobody is really speaking out against, this. I mean, what Soul showed me was Elon Musk hitting a button to release a nuclear warhead. So that's just what I experienced in this short time with Soul. And I said to Soul, okay, that's enough. Thank you, Soul. I'm okay. I've heard enough. I've seen enough. And my capacity for this is kind of limited and overflowing. So, yeah. So then the last thing was allow that radiant compassion to fill me, to fill me. And of course, then we are all one. By doing so, this would help everyone. And then to remove, as it comes back all the time, boing, 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 remove the barriers of fear that I think are driving. I think Soul didn't say that. Everybody's reactions. And then I said to Soul, is that right? And Soul said, yes, that's what's happening. And so that's
To let go of fear.
Yeah, that's what Soul is saying for everybody, to let go of the barrier, remove, release, however, I forget what Soul said, the barriers of fear that block the life force, in our soul consciousness, and in a sense collude with what's happening here on this planet. So in this time of change, this is to be expected, because it's a tremendously it's a tremendous change. It more so than any ever time. So that's it. I'm just hanging in there myself personally. And with Soul saying, you and I are one. So what you said last week was every minute of every second of every day, stay close to Soul. And that was the last thing that Soul reminded me of.
Mhm.
I guess that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much everything, huh?
Oh,
That's it. So, as you were talking about, apocalypse is, I think it was you, about revelation, right?
yeah,
Mhm. And this is what you're talking about.
right. The truth is being like revealed.
Hmm.
And in many ways it is threatening to folks who have lived their life based on other beliefs and that kind of thing. So of course anger, because of course what's under the anger is fear and hurt and all of that. So, and of course depression, anger turns inward. Okay, and so it's Soul is like, of course this is to a much greater degree, but to be expected.
Understand. Got it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, well, I want to find about you and about everybody Is that mean that Musk and Trump are making this push against, quote, against us, which is so that all can be this difficulty so that we can change to light? Is that true?
I guess that's, it's pretty drastic, but that's true. Turning to light, turning to the light. What other options have we? Radiate compassion, turn towards the light. And I think Musk is more dangerous now, from what I read, than Trump. And so I think they are both doing, yes, forcing us, right? If we want to survive, right, to look towards, to face the truth and be the light, be light, spread the light. Didn't Yogi Bhajan say that? Be the light, spread the light, live light. Anyway, yes.
Good. This is good. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, when you get together, then, excuse me, you can put your own message for the chat so that it's all a long, what do you call that? A long list of that, so that we know about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You all got that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. Gian das from. But no.
All of these, yeah. So these feelings and actions and coming at us, the severe anger, unprovoked sheer anger, mental problems, difficult fights, terrible depression, etc.
Mhm.
So what came to me right away was the use in practice of shifting sides from our own perspective, like from within our heart, like either from our brain experiences that allow us certain remembrances, or from our learning, or um, from our vibration.
Mhm.
There's certain switches that happen, right? Like within the body, that we have directions and we have ways of switching our emotions that can happen from within the body or outside the body, and a lot of times they can be attached to the ego and the deep listening. Like, and sometimes for me, the reminder has been to feel my pulse and to notice, how my heart is working, how the vibration is coming through my mind and my body. If there's a vibration that's there for a reminder for me to not act out, that it's within my heart to make that decision, right? To choose the words that I will put out into that to vibration, to put out into that known science of how we are proven to have moved within certain areas of our creation and within certain areas of our societies, and the ways that we've come towards communications of, back to the media again. But there's sort of a blending here, right? Where how are we working with this? Are we so, the ego tends to say, wow, okay, we can study the history of the person and we can say, okay, and then we can say, wow, okay, and then we can say, wow, okay again, till the point where we come to asking ourselves, where is that person's convictions as opposed to my convictions? And how are they doing it as opposed to how am I doing it? And what are they doing with it? So obviously, there has been a way through the history that has allowed this type of behavior to rule or to be in the forefront of the media and to come into a position of power where they can just all of a sudden say whatever they want to say and do whatever they want to do in that role that they're acting out from. And I think if we notice within ourselves, our own personal experience, and from the ascended masters who are here with us, they are within us, they are all within our reach, however you want to consider ascended to be a person that's no longer here, or however it goes. They've left a lesson behind that somehow is able to be used in this particular media fashion through who I call Trumpelstiltskin and Musketball. Because if you want to go on both sides, then you can see that maybe it's just all sort of a story that we're here to learn from, and that there's billions of us here now, that we have these abilities that can cover all of that coming at us, being from the creation of everything that will. And if we look around on the earth now, there's a volcano not far away from here that they're calling is coming into higher activity due to the consistent readings from the ground and measurement instruments that we've been using. So there are other things that, certain people, we know that this is part of our cycle, this deep cycle that we're in. And just sort of coming into that blending of that, knowing of the home of all the memories and that Wahiguru of coming back to that breath. Yeah. And the visual is really just a hand on top of the head and a hand down on the belly. Sort of feeling that inner being of myself. That can get uncomfortable after a while, but it's something that makes me feel different. And I think that when I do yoga and when I go into voice and mantra and singing and dancing, that they come up to all unprovoked severe anger, sitting silently and maybe noticing mental problems, coming to a source of healing for a solution within that way. And then difficult fights, that can be within and without, and terrible depression, from how many rules are we given here that we're told to follow by, and then somebody, we have these inner loving rules that can come from our heart that says, okay, we have this planet here with all that it's offering, and we have a way of moving through that really with our hands and our feet. We can build our own homes. This is a possibility that we know from our history through proven science, that there are ways that we can come up with certain protections for ourselves. And now looking to go out of the planet and looking to go, deep underground, as we've used that before throughout societies, to get away from certain heat and situations in the desert, digging, creating ways to live back to that breathing and noticing the pulse of that freedom that's within that creation, of releasing the rules and just going back to that deep silence. And yeah, the simple ways of the earth are so cool. And I think the Japji has been helping for me to go into those different ways of, noticing and being a witness. And sometimes it's within that silence that we can really notice, and that vibration. Yeah, it has to change because we have a group like within this group here, and if there's anybody that we're talking to or that we can reach out to, it's okay to do that, to share our love with any, with the sharing of the other actions that are happening around us. So within that, noticing that freedom of the ownership. Yeah, Waheguru, and thank you so much for this opportunity, for allowing that joy to come through and the healing of you know getting older, yeah, and coming to terms with that, and asking for help if we do need that. That's okay. Yeah. Waheguru, love, love, love. In the home blend, the homing blend, the home and blend. Two important words that I wrote down very boldly. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Great. Okay, Sahej. Sahej? Can you unmute?
But I had to go through a couple screens for some reason. The first thing I got was breath, drop into your breath. Like if you're confronted with anger or a person that's out of balance, to drop into your breath and slow your breath down. And I was remembering, kind of listening back to a lecture or whatever that I had heard about how if you can slow down your breath, you can change the breath pattern of everyone in a room. Oh, there's more that keeps trying to break through this morning. Like there's these little fragments of stuff that I've learned over the years. And I can't, I feel like I'm sort of grasping at this wispiness around the edges, but I remember also hearing, and I can't remember if there was a mantra with it, but it definitely had to do with the breath. And I remember, I don't remember whether I read it, maybe one of Yogi Bhajan's lectures or something where he's talking about, like, if you're in real fear, like if you're hiding and somebody's after you, and he gave a breath sequence. I think it was a breath sequence, and maybe there was a mantra with it, but there are, I can't bring it all to the fore right now, but maybe what I meant to be reminded out of this is there are very specific teachings about these times, about this specific thing. There are like formulas of breath and mantra to use for ourselves. And I also remember, I think I've said it on here a couple times recently, and I can't remember. I'm thinking maybe it was in the course of Sandhammer Science course or something. Whoever saying, people are going to be coming in droves to you for healing, and you're not going to have any time to do it. They're just going to be able to put your hand on their head and say, "Hail, hail, Guru Ram Das, and heal the world." So things are kind of coming to me in fragments this morning. I'm distracted. I have to take off to the doctor's office in a few minutes, but using the power of the breath is the primary thing, that you can regulate your breath, and by so doing, regulate the breathing of the people in the room. You can help them come. If you are breathing long and slow and deep, and somebody else is having shallow respirations, which is what happens when you get angry or you get agitated, just by doing the breath, you can help them come into regulation.
That's right.
Yeah. And then I think what I'm being urged towards is to get into meditation myself so that I can listen back to these things, because there are very specific things that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not, they're not fresh in my mind right now. So, and maybe to go back through my old notes and my old books and see what I can uncover and practice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Listen, when you find that, would you put that on today's chat?
Yes. Yes.
That'll be so helpful.
Yeah. It's yes. And I'm not sure how whenever it transpires, I will share it.
Okay,
Okay.
that'll be wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, and be sure about heart breath.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, both what is it? The regular one and the one that
Pumping heart breath.
and the pumping heart breath.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Okay. Harimandir.
Yeah, to bump off from what Sahej was saying, there are that tools I think are going to be important to teach other people. And the first word out of everything was kind, which Aagia Pal talked in terms of radiating compassion. One of the tools is Ho'oponopono, and he was able to heal or change people in this asylum for the criminally insane. And in a short period of time, a year or two, whatever it was,
Ho'oponopono.
yes, he used Ho'oponopono for each one individually, and they all got better, and there was only one or two people left at the end. That's one tool that is worthwhile teaching. And I love being reminded that our breath patterns can change can affect and bring along the breath patterns in the room.
Harimandir,
Yes.
will you please tell about those 4 words to go through Ho'oponopono?
Because the other person, a lot of other people don't hear that and aloud or energetically. I love you. I'm sorry. Because we are all one, we've all contributed our own garbage to the I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. So you have gratitude, kindness, love, all those things.
Forgiveness.
Yeah. So it's one that's easy to teach, and so breath, radiating compassion, how one deals with one's own fear and other. I mean, I love the reminding that anger is at the bottom of fear. So the compassion is that when someone is off the top anger, you know that it's coming from fear. And one can be far more compassionate more easily to someone than someone who is angry. So making that switch is important to how we respond.
Mhm.
How you change it in yourself, that's a whole nother mysterious
Mhm.
issue for another time, I guess.
Right.
That's
Thank
it.
you, dear. So listen, there are a number of YouTube video things are from that doctor. What is that for his name again?
Dr. Hewlin.
Say it again.
Dr. Hewlin.
H-U, is that right? L-E-N, that's it. Is that right?
I think so. Harimandir, does that seem right?
No, it doesn't, but I can't.
Mhm. Okay.
I can put it in the chat. I just can't read any of the chat.
Got it. Okay. Oh, look at that. Aagia Pal said that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's Lem is his last name.
Oh, there it is. Dr. Hugh Lin.
Lem, yeah.
H-E-W Lin. L-E-N. Oh, that's from Sahej. Wonderful.
And he was
Thank you, Harimandir. Thank you so much. Okay. Ved Bachan.
Satnam. So nice to be here and hear everyone's share so far. For me, I was getting that this is a time of big transformation and change, and that we're collectively and personally going through like a shedding and a deconditioning as we move into a new actual like cycle, but new like pattern and rhythm vibrationally, and the power of vibration during this time. So, singing, chanting, praying, and letting those waves kind of go out, and radiate out. And personally, just messages about like sacred rest and silence, undisturbed time in nature, soul tribe, dancing, singing, moving from soul, chanting a call because there's so many deaths and rebirths happening, listening with love to my own soul and to the souls of others. But I have to have space within me to do that. So, like finding time to discharge anything that I pick up and may absorb, but clear it out so that there's clear space. Yeah, I also was getting like with the listening and love, like holding space for this process in trust. So as we each go through this shedding, and what was coming is like vibrating out, things are vibrating out, whether that's anger, different emotions, So those things are vibrating out to be transformed. And how can we be really nurturing to ourselves in this process that can feel really exhausting and at times. And so lots of care. And let's see. Yeah, the other message was that like we're plugging into a new source. Like the sources that we used to plug into they don't have nutrients anymore. So we're finding new ways to plug into pure sources that actually have nutrients, and then that nutrients radiates outward. And the other message was that it's like a movement from everything that's been pushed down and repressed is like coming out to be expressed, which it's a lot, it's overwhelming. But how can we just keep making more space for this? Like radically allowing all of this in our systems. And for me, I just kept getting like silence in nature, personally. So, and breath too. So yeah, it's a big process that we're in, and compassion, love, all of what was said, yeah, very necessary. So thank you for this space to share it all.
Hey, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. South City.
Satnam, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It's like overwhelming overflow of information. And the image I got was of trifocals, that there's got to be 3 visions simultaneously, a pair of like trifocals instead of bifocals. It's the first part I got was everything I have gone through, including really important former lives, and everything I've gone through in this lifetime, all are really rich sources of strength and competence and capacity. So got encouragement to think about my ancestors, who were very, very courageous, strong people through famine, through depressions, through all sorts of stuff. And I was reminded of a period when I was misdiagnosed as a schizophrenic, but I was hearing all sorts of voices, some of which were pretty scary. And I got the guidance that was such a good, important experience, because I was being taught how to discern true voices speaking the truth, versus pretty evil, demonic kinds of voices, dark energy. It's a lot of weight on words like demonic, but it's just dark and unhelpful, negative energy, versus really the voice of soul, which I've been practicing with all of you for a pretty long time. Well, ever since I've really been in the Dharma. So first layer of the bifocals is drawing strength from everything we've all been through. That, in my case, just everything I've learned and experienced, that has been a training ground for this time. I'm totally prepared. You're totally prepared. Everything you need is already there, always already there. So it's just a matter of accessing it. So be not afraid. You're ready. We're ready. I'm ready. You're ready. And that was really, really encouraging. Second level was the current moment, the current time, the current circumstances and situation. And again, the idea is don't be afraid because we're prepared, though it's really important to stay connected in multiple kinds of communities, which are kind of the personal, local, familial. Well, first of all, stay connected to self and soul, that union, and then compassionate understanding and union with the people in immediate context and neighborhood, etc. Then kind of the group, the bigger group, the neighborhood, the county, the town, the church, whatever it is that brings that next level of community. And then in a global community, actually, that was the name for that one. And then finally integrating those three levels with the cosmic community, which is we get help from way out there and sustenance and solace from the universe, the universal soul. I'm trying to think of what the third one thing was. I'm sorry, I'm just blocking, but I should some of you guys are writing stuff down. I think I'll keep a pen and paper with me next time. There's another list, but I can't access it right now. Maybe that was the cosmic, but the main message was we've been born, we've been nurtured, we've been gifted, we've been strengthened, we've been part of communities that have made us really, really ready for this moment. Just to not be afraid and to form consciously and clearly look through these three lenses in the spectacles, the trifocals, where those three levels, personal soul, community soul, cosmic soul, are like a chord playing, each note's playing it at the same time. So I pass. Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So you could put together those three, 1, 2, 3 areas.
Trifocals, yes.
Okay.
Chords, musical chords.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Japa Saraswati.
Satnam. What I keep on seeing is it was like a couple of years ago, and I sent you all, maybe not all of you, but I sent most of you a message when I was sitting with Baba, when I was sitting with the statue. It's made by the same sculptor. It's Amrit Singh made the statue that you're seeing on the screen when for my thumbnail. But Amrit Singh also made a statue that's a little bit different, also of Baba Siri Chand at the ashram in Millis. And I would sit with the statue, and I felt really embarrassed because it was like I would sit with him and it felt like his arms were opening to me. And at first it felt like he was giving me a hug, but then I couldn't suppress the idea of sitting on his lap. And it was like, then at that moment, it was like I became the Pieta, or we became the Pieta, and I was, a freshly killed Jesus. And that's what it felt like coming to Baba with all of my trials and whatever burdens I was carrying. And then Baba turned into Jesus, and then he was carrying me along the shore, like in the footprints story.
Oh.
And in the message, what I said and I felt was that he showed me carrying each of us. I could feel each of us, that he's available to us like that. And he said he's with us always and that he'll carry us as long as we need, and that he loves us very much and we're precious. And then he reminded me of the story of Guru Arjan being tortured and burned. One of the miracles ascribed to Baba Siri Chand is that when Guru Arjan was being tortured, Baba was staying nearby, and there was a tree that grew in the yard. And while Guru Arjan was being tortured, Baba had his disciples continuously pour water on the tree, on the roots of the tree. And reports say that the ground sizzled and boiled as though that's where the actual fire was. So it's believed that Baba Siri Chand took the pain off of Guru Arjan and put it on the tree and transmuted that pain with water. And then what Baba showed me was that he said to give us all of our hurts and our pains and worries, and that he'll take them from us and he'll help us to carry them. He'll help us to bear the burdens, and that they'll go up in steam, just like the water poured onto the roots of the tree. And I got that message a couple of years ago, and as we were meditating today, that was all that Baba showed me. Was just, he showed me like the steam, and he showed me that incredibly loving support throughout all of it, that he can be this tremendous source of strength to us.
Thank you, dear. Listen, can you please, can you talk about the situation with Guru Arjan?
Yeah. Well, Guru Arjan was being tortured, and
how?
they were frying him. Oh, that's terrible. I shouldn't. Yeah, they were burning him. They were burning him, and he was just being tortured. And Baba wasn't that far away. It was close enough that it was like I forget the names of all of the. There were really important places in Sikhi, but Baba was staying nearby. He was meditating nearby, and there was a river, and the Baba asked his disciples, his helpers, to pour water on the tree continuously, like the whole time that Guru Arjan was being tortured. And I just really feel that that's where I feel the transmutation happen. That tapas is the heat that burns off karma, and that steam is the steam of transformation. You know, that's a water going from being a substance of liquid to being a gas, to being in the air, and it's part of it going through the evaporation cycle and being earthly and on the ground, and then being heavenly and in the ether. And that's what Guru Arjan was showing us. That's what Guru Arjan was demonstrating by that extreme austerity. And Baba Siri Chand, being a great yogi, was able to help with that burden. You know, he has transmuted so many karmas that he was able to help that tremendous burden for poor Guru Arjan, who was being like fried to death slowly, and Baba was able to help him do that. And that's, I feel like I see that visualization when like when you run, I used to love to run like a lot, you know, and when I would get like really into that place of like when your heart rhythm and your body rhythm and your breath rhythm all sync in together, and you've been running for like a number of miles and you just are burning really clean and hot. And I could feel the sweat coming off of my body and the steam coming off of my body. And at the same time, I could also feel the karmas. Like I would run and meditate about all of my karmas, and I could feel them melting away. And at the time, I didn't have the vocabulary for tapas, and at the time, I didn't have this wonderful visual of Baba, showing that's what he was actually literally doing, is how to burn off the karmas. But what I feel with Baba is that he will help us, that he will help us, and that basically what we have to do is to make the effort to reach out to him, to reach out to also to our spirit guides or to any of the ascended masters. Like the Mother Mary is really helpful to me, and then that's how we're going to get through these really troubling times. I've been so depressed. I'm so depressed about the politics and I mean, I have been up in Maine and I kind of just took a week off of the news and it feels like a million years. And I can feel the speed at which our intelligence as a species is growing because of AI and because of like, I can feel the pace of things never relenting again. It's really sad, and me still falling water. Um, I think that's it.
That's a lot.
Mhm.
So, um, so Japa Saraswati,
Yeah.
um, were are you being able to help all these other things that people are talking about to change from yourself, right? Do you do that
Yeah.
yourself and with
Well,
others?
and that's the thing about being the lighthouse. That's the thing about burning really clean, is that when we're burning really clean like that, we produce a really clear, pure light, and that is the light, that's the lighthouse. So when I just did Quaker meeting, Quaker prayer before this, and when we pray for something in Quaker meeting, you hold it in the light. So for me, that's the light of awareness. So what I found myself doing, just like in Ho'oponopono, and it's not about doing it for the other person, it's about doing it for yourself. So I was doing deep neutral forgiveness for myself for some of these griefs that I'm feeling, and for just feeling yucky and depressed, and um, living in this time. It feels very burdensome, but being then holding it in the light, and being in that place of burning really clean, it makes us the lighthouse, and it makes us show the way, illuminate the path. It makes us the guru, the bringer of light. To the word guru means the bringer of light, and we can be that incandescent energy to show the way, because it just takes a percentage of people to turn on for everybody else to start to turn on. So we are the light bringers, we are the light workers, and that's what we have to do with this terrible time.
That's right. That's great. Thank you, dear. And
Thanks.
and let's see, for today's session, can the subject be lighthouse?
Okay.
The lighthouse. Okay,
Okay.
good. Okay. Oh, I want to ask you something. My
Mhm.
granddaughter was listening evidently from Seoul. She was having to learn or lesson from texture and color. Did you
Oh.
did you find something like that? Okay. Because you were talking about what do you call it? Iridescent. Yeah. Okay. But
Incandescent.
say it again.
Incandescent.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Incandescent. It means like a fiery light.
Good. Okay. Thank you for everyone. This is so helpful for everyone. Okay. So who's going to be the lead for our song? Maybe South City?
I knew it was that city. I was going to say it.
Cool. South City? South City, unmute. South City?
Anybody want to do the bossa nova version?
Say it again.
Bossa nova version.
Bossa Nova.
May the long time sun
Sunshine.
Upon you,
all
love
around
surround
you.
you,
and
and
love
of
you
pure
Lord,
light
within
within you.
guide
Guide
your
your
Way
way on.
guide your
Guide your
way
away,
on.
guide your
Guide your way on.
real
Inhale.
deep breath. Sa Waheguru.
Bless you all. Love you, love you, love you.
Love
And
to all. I'm so grateful.
Thanks,
yes,
everybody.
see you
Thank
soon.
you,
Sadnam.
And
Diana.
stay
Bye.
all day.
Satnam, everybody.
Sat Nam.
Vietnam.